Walk in to never lose marks on this style of question again. In this question, we are told that the first 5 terms of a quadratic sequence is 2, 7, 14, 23, and 34. And we are asked to find the nth term of the sequence. The first thing I'm going to do is rewrite the sequence and call it un. It will make sense as the question progresses, but we want to name it that because we don't want to get confused. If we had an arithmetic sequence, we would only have to find the difference once, and then we could use that to form our equation. But because it's a quadratic sequence, we need to find the difference between the numbers and then find the difference of the difference. If you notice, when we're finding the difference between, it's not the same number, but when we find the difference of the difference, it is the same number, which is 2. The third thing we're going to do is recall the formula of a quadratic sequence, which is an squared plus bn plus c. To find the a is going to be half of the second difference we found. So 2a equals 2, and a, which is half of the difference that we found, is going to be half times 2. Our fourth step is to make this table as I've just drawn. The n refers to the number of the term. For example, in our sequence un, this is why we named it, in our sequence un, the first term is going to be 2, the second term is 7, third is 14, and so on. Then we have a section for un, which is when we write down our original sequence that we called un. So I'm going to fill that in, writing 2, 7, 14, 23, and 34. In the next row, we're going to find a new sequence called 1n squared. We take the n and we replace the n with the number of each term and fill that in underneath the sequence un. So for example, substituting 1, because that's the number for the first term, 1n squared is going to be 1, 1 times 2 squared is going to be 4, 1 times 3 squared is going to be 9, 1 times 4 squared is going to be 16, and 1 times 5 squared is going to be 25. Now we need to find the difference between the two. So I'm going to subtract the original sequence from the new sequence that we've just created. This way I get a new sequence that we're going to use to find the second part of the quadratic sequence, being bn plus c. So like finding a regular arithmetic sequence, we find the difference in between, which in this case is 2, and we find the zeroth term by taking 2 away from our first term, which is 1. So the b is going to be 2 and the c is going to be minus 1. Bringing it all together, we found a, we found b, we found c. So our final quadratic sequence is 1n squared plus 2n minus 1. These types of questions are usually worth a lot of marks because it's a lot of work. It's 4 marks and now you know how to get 4 out of 4.